She's done it. I'm going to do it too. She's done it. I'm going to ask for some support. There's something to be said about surrounding yourself with women. And there's that quote, right? Surround yourself with women who will mention your name in a room full of opportunities. And for me, that is support. You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I'm Sandy Patterson, your host and certified life and business coach, and welcome to another episode. I am just busy over here. My youngest is turning 7 this weekend, and it is crazy for me to say my youngest is turning 7 because 7 feels old to me. Like, that's not a little kid anymore. So anyways, we are over here in birthday celebration prep, getting all the things ready. We have this tradition in our house where the night before the birthday, the other 3 of us will decorate, the house with balloons and streamers and, just kind of deck it all out. And I asked him, what color do you want your decorations to be this year? And he said, red and green. And I was like, oh, perfect. It's going to look like Christmas. This is wonderful. So anyways, maybe I'll try to add a little blue in there too, but it's all good. I'm super excited to celebrate him. My kids' birthdays are like my favorite day of the year. Well, let's get into this episode now. So we are going to talk today about starting a business, okay? Now, I will talk about this forever. Contrary to popular belief, starting a business is not actually that hard. Now, just to be very, very clear, when I say hard, I do not mean that it is not a lot of work. It is a lot of work, absolutely, 100%. It takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication and a lot of working through the ups and the downs and staying with it even when it feels like it is not working. So it is hard in that sense. But what I hear from a lot of women and a lot of clients is that, oh, well, I don't have a business background. I don't have a sales background. I don't have a marketing background. I didn't go to school for business. When I say it's actually not that hard, all of those things that I just listed, you can actually learn. You do not need a background in marketing or business or sales or any of those things in order to start a business. I know all of these things are learnable, and I know people are like, wait a second. Hold on. I know this because I started 2 businesses, and honestly, I really had no idea what the heck I was doing for the first one. All I knew is that I needed to make money, and I needed to make enough money to set myself up so when I left my teaching job, I was not like, we had money to pay the bills and, feed my kids. So it is possible. It is 100% possible. And, that first business that I started, talk about really Jimmy rigging things together. It was duct taping what I had together to make it work. But I'll tell you what, I made it work. And I learned a lot of lessons along the way. A lot of lessons about taking risks, making difficult decisions, and again, just sticking with it when it felt really crappy and it felt like it wasn't working. So that was the first business I started was a VA business, so virtual assistant. So I essentially helped write curriculum for teacher authors, which was so fun and I loved it. But I knew that wasn't going to be my forever thing. So fun. I loved it and I met some amazing people and learned some really amazing things. The second business I started and am running now is my coaching business, which is like my third child, my baby. I love coaching, and I've actually also learned to love the business part of it as well. When people talk a lot about like, oh, I've got, back end business stuff to do, I'm probably one of the only people that actually enjoys the back end business stuff. Like, I really love creating content. I love recording these podcast episodes. I love posting on social media. I love connecting and following up with people. I love building those relationships. I love it all. I really do, which is funny because I hear a lot of people go, oh, I just want to work, I just want to actually do the thing, not actually run the business. But I actually enjoy running the business. And I learned, again, a lot starting these two businesses. And I've learned that there are some common things across the board that you need when you are starting a business. And I actually did a podcast episode on this over the summer. It was in the Biz Builder series, and the episode is episode number 25. I will link it in the show notes. It is the 4 things you need to start your business, and they're not the things that you think that you need. Like, I think people think that, oh, I need a website, or oh, I don't know. I don't know what people think they need, but these are 4 really basic things that you can start your business with. And from there, what I discovered is that yes, you need those 4 things, but there are some other things that you need. And you need these things across the board, no matter what business you're starting, no matter where you're at or where you're in. And these things are specifically for somebody who is starting an online business. So what I did is I created a step-by-step, stemming from that episode, I created kind of a step-by-step outline or a checklist, if you will, of things that you need to start your business. And this also came from clients who I work with who they've already started their business, but again, kind of like me, they just kind of dove in and started doing the thing, but they didn't actually know what they were doing. So this list was kind of born out of what I noticed everybody kind of talking about, and it's kind of the nitty-gritty, but it's also not. So today we're going to talk about the top 3 things that I have on this list, and we're going to talk about these 3 things. If you're thinking about starting a business, or if you've already started a business, these 3 things are going to be really, really important. You pretty much can't do it without these 3 things, okay? So the first thing on the list, there's 10 things on this list. We're going to talk about 3 of them today. The first thing is your mindset. Now, I said I'll talk forever about how starting a business isn't actually as hard as we think it is. Yes, it's a lot of work, but you can figure all of it out. I will talk about this even longer than that. Your mindset is going to be the number one thing that is going to make or break you in your business. And this will determine your success. And when I say success, I mean your ability to continue moving forward even when things get hard. Now, this is something that I did not realize when I started that first business. And it's something that I'm still learning and still working on. It's that your mind plays a role in everything you do. Obviously, that sounds pretty like, well, duh. But how? How does that even work? Let me explain it to you. So we have these thoughts, right? You have these thoughts. And a lot of times the thoughts that we have are not conscious thoughts. They're just things that are kind of playing in the background of our mind. So it's not like we wake up in the morning and put our feet on the floor and say, I'm not good enough to start a business, or I'm not smart enough to start a business, or I'm not whatever enough. There's kind of just these stories that you have playing in the background that kind of play a role here. And what those stories do is those stories are going to elicit a feeling or an emotion, right? So if I essentially believe, or I'm thinking on repeat, that I am not smart enough to start a business, that is going to impact exactly how I show up. Am I going to come at this like full force and be like, yes, I've got this, let's do this. And then again, that in turn affects my energy, right? Like how I'm showing up for my people in my own business. And that, how we show up, essentially determines our results. So you can see that it really starts with your mindset and these stories and these things that you're telling yourself day in and day out, whether you realize it or not. Now, when I first started my business, I was like, yeah, mindset, fine, whatever, it's good, I got this. I need to know how to do it. And then once I learn how to do it, then I'll be fine, I'll figure it out. Which I did learn how to do it, and I did figure it out. However, the mindset piece was what was going to catapult me forward. This was the piece that allowed me to energetically step into my business as a business owner, to build confidence in myself and how I show up for my clients and for my people and even for myself, right? This was, once I started really, really focusing and digging in this mindset work, this is where I started to see much better, much bigger results, and a lot faster too. Because again, you can do all the things, you can learn all the things. We already know that. We can figure this out. You can figure anything out. You can Google anything. But if you don't have the mindset to back it, you are not going to be able to sustain or succeed in your business, because you will essentially get in your own way. You will be your own block. Your mind will be your own block. And things come up constantly, right? Like imposter syndrome, or like we were just talking about, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough. Or I hear this one often, when I have this in place, then I'll be able to this. When I have this, then I'll feel confident, whatever it is. None of those things are the case. All of those things are stories that your brain is telling you to try to keep you in the same spot, because the same spot is familiar, it is comfortable. It might not be what you hope it is, but at least it's comfortable, at least it's safe, at least you know what to expect. So something that I work on big time with my clients, and I think a reason that my coaching is a lot different than a lot of business coaching, is because we take that mindset piece and we really, really dig in. And 9 times out of 10, if there is some sort of block, or you're doing the things and something is not happening like you hope them to, or you hope that they are, it's usually mindset. There's some sort of story there that your brain is feeding you, that your subconscious mind is telling you, that is essentially holding you back. You are in your own way. And so a big part of my coaching that I do with my one-to-one clients and my Voxer clients, and even our my group coaching clients, is we dig into this mindset piece. And these stories are not always easy to pull out. It's almost like you know something is there, and you know something is holding you back, and you know something is in your way, but you just can't quite put your finger on it. You're like, I know something is there. Something's going on. I just cannot figure out what it is. We take the time to peel back the layers and really, really figure out those stories, those beliefs, those things that you're telling yourself over and over. And then we start to dig them up and rewrite them and uproot them. And so you can move forward in your business. And the great thing about this too, that I didn't realize either, is that mindset, yes, it plays a huge role in your business, but it also plays a huge role in your life. When I started really, really making my mindset a focus, like a priority in my everyday life, and a focus for me, my relationships outside of my business, oh my gosh, it just improved so much. I don't even know how to say this. But then the other really great thing is that my relationship with myself, right? My confidence, my ability to show up for myself, my ability to maintain my emotions and to keep everything kind of in check and to not internalize everything has been absolutely life-changing. And that essentially is why I had a coach that helped me, and I still do have a coach that helps me work through these things. And that's essentially why I became a coach, because I recognized how powerful mindset is in all areas of your life, in your business, in your life, in your relationships, really in everything that you do. And I wanted to pass that along, because my coaches, I have many coaches. They have all played a huge role in helping me discover these stories and begin to rewrite them so I can move forward as my best self and just continue to evolve and become the person that I know that I'm meant to become. Does this all happen really quick? No. Is it hard work? Yes. But again, when I say hard, it's not hard like you cannot do it or you can't figure it out. You just have to make a decision that I'm done with these stupid stories. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to uncover them. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't want to uncover them. It's easier to keep these things buried and hidden, and it's easier just to scroll social media and forget about it. It's easier to, do all these things that we do to kind of distract ourselves and keep busy in productivity rather than really digging into this mindset piece. But I will tell you, it is so worth it. And this is the big difference between the people that are ready to work with me and the people who are not. The people that are 100% all in and ready to do this dirty work, because it is dirty work. And it's tears and it's hard. It's hard work digging up things and seeing pieces of you that you'd rather not. But what's on the other side, they know the value of what is on the other side. And that is where the magic happens. So the first thing on this list is your mindset. You have to have your mindset in check and you have to be aware of it. You have to make it a priority in order for your business to sustain and to really, really succeed long term. Okay. And I know that if you have a business, you are in it for the long haul. I know that this is not a quick fix. Business is not a quick fix. It takes time to build. And yes, again, we've talked, is it hard? Yeah, it's hard because it's a lot of work, but it's not hard in the sense that you can figure all of these things out. Now, the second thing on this list, this checklist of the 10 essential things you need to launch or build your business, is support. I have never talked to anybody who has built a successful business by themselves. You have to have people around you, and you have to have people around you that, number one, understand what you're going through. Number two, that are really, truly 100% there to support you and encourage you and celebrate you. This piece is like invaluable, and I'm not sure, like mindset and support are probably like the top two things. Again, going back to, is starting a business actually that hard? No, it's not. We can figure all of these logistical things out and all of these pieces out. But it's going to be 1,000 times harder if you don't have somebody there that you can bounce ideas off of, that you can ask questions to, that you can just pull up, Voxer or your voice memo on your phone and be like, oh my gosh, this just happened. Is it just me? Is this just me? Are you going through the same thing? I think that there is something to be said about putting yourself in a room too of people who are going through the same thing, or who have already been through it, who you can borrow beliefs from, right? Because a lot of times in business, going back to mindset, we don't believe that a lot of things are possible for us. Whether you acknowledge that or not, it's this belief piece that we're like, I don't know if this is actually possible for me. You have to have people around you that have done it so you can borrow the belief. And anytime you fall into that piece of like, I don't know if I can do this, you anchor yourself onto the evidence that these women or whoever it is around you have done it. So she's done it, so why not me? She's done it, I'm going to do it too. She's done it, I'm going to ask for some support. There's something to be said about surrounding yourself with women. And there's that quote, right? Surround yourself with women who will mention your name in a room full of opportunities. And for me, that is support, right? That is a group of people who are 100% there to support you and push you along and encourage you and celebrate you. Celebrate the little wins, celebrate the big wins together, and continue to push you along. And I think for a lot of people, like a lot of the people that I work with too are teachers, and they are in the beginning phases of building businesses, or they've already started, or they want to, or they're right there kind of in those beginning phases. And as teachers, most of us do not identify as a business owner. Like that seems so far-fetched and so far away and like almost like impossible. Like, wait, what? And I know most of us, myself included, like if you had have asked me 5 years ago or 10 years ago if I would ever own a business, or even if I ever wanted to own a business, I would be like, hell no, no way. But here I am, however many years later, and it's working. And now I'm able to see myself as a business owner. And I think when that happens, you do kind of have to shed old beliefs. We know that already because of the mindset piece, but you also have to shed people around you that are not going to support you as you move forward. And I know even with like family members, I remember the first Thanksgiving that I was out of the classroom. How awkward was that? Like, people are like, the cousins and the aunts and uncles are like, wait, what? You quit your job? Why would you do that? Why would you quit a perfectly great job that you went to school for? And they just didn't understand. Like, they would be like, you had a steady paycheck, you had great benefits. Like, they just did not get it. Like, why you basically, they looked at me like, why the heck would you leave a perfectly fine job to do this thing that's so questionable, right? Like, is it going to work? Is it not? I don't know. It's, again, my ass on the line. They were just so confused. And it's shedding those people and those relationships and being okay walking from those pieces of your life or those people in your life that are not going to support you. And this is not to say that like the cousins and the aunts and uncles do not support me. They just didn't get it. But there will be a point in your business where you realize like these relationships are not serving me. And this also plays into the mindset piece too. These relationships I have outgrown them. I have evolved. I am a different person, and it's not serving me to stick around or listen to people who are in a completely different mindset or a completely different place that are not willing to support me, or that are almost like, what's that called? Like when the backhanded like compliment, well, I'm just looking out for you. And you know that 90% of businesses don't, work out. It's like, I don't need to hear that. Like, I don't need to hear this from you. You're not saying that because you actually care about me. You're just saying that because you're stuck in your space and you want me to stay stuck over there with you. And I'm done with that. So I'm moving on. So number 2 on the list is support. Find yourself a tribe of people who is going to support you, who gets it, who's willing to cheer you on, and it, again, is going to mention your name in a room full of opportunity. Those are the people that you want to be around, the people that have done it before, that you can rely on, you can lean on, you can borrow those beliefs. Support is essential. You cannot build a business without support. And that might even look like coaching, right? Support looks like coaching. Support, in a sense, can also look like therapy, or there's so many different ways that this can look. And it's so funny. Like, I think back to like I think about my support system now, and I think about how it has grown and evolved, and it is so solid here. I'm almost a year into owning my coaching business, and I look back to a year ago, and I look back at the people that I was around. I'm like, oh gosh, no wonder. Like, I had all of these awful thoughts and beliefs. But then when I started to shift and put myself in a room with people, and when I say put myself in a room, this can be virtual too. It can be a Facebook group. It could be on Voxer. It could be in a group coaching program. There's so many different ways that this could, take place. That's when I really started to grow my confidence and feel supported again, right? Because support is number 2 on the list. Support and excitement and encouragement to just go, to keep moving forward. You have to have people that are going to push you forward. And I can think of people right now in my life that like, if I am feeling like crappy, or if I'm like, I know exactly who I can call, and they'll just be like, hey, stop effing around. Get moving. Like, you have everything you need. Just go. Keep moving. And that is huge. I'm trying to think of what it would be like to own a business and run an online business without having those people. And I literally can't imagine it. And I don't want to imagine it. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 on the list is pretty obvious. But you have to have an offer. right? So you have to have some sort of offer that you are going to share with your people. Now, your offer should be something that you are so incredibly passionate about. Now, I went through a lot of phases in business too. Like I said, I started a VA business where I was supporting teacher authors, which was amazing and it was great. But again, my offer, I wasn't quite aligned with it. And I think that's why I knew that it wasn't going to be my forever thing. Like, that's not what I was going to do forever. And it was fun and it was good and it was easy for me and whatever, but there was something missing. And when we say alignment, like something just feels a little bit off. And for me, when coaching came into the picture and this seed was planted, like, oh, you could coach too. You could, it's like this ripple effect, right? Like change lives that change other lives that change other lives. And we want to change lives essentially, right? And that's a part of who I am. And that's a big part of why I joined the coaching certification program that I did. I did that through Inner Glow Circle. I'll link it in the show notes for you if you want to check it out. And if you are thinking of becoming a coach, oh my goodness, send me a message on Instagram, send me a DM, or send me an email. I would love to chat with you about it. I'll talk with you about that forever too. But you have to have an offer that you are aligned with and that you are so excited about. And it's funny, your offer is almost like, if you think about this, like if you get like a new hair product, right? And your hair just starts to grow and it's beautiful and it's so luscious and beautiful. And this product is really, working for you. People are going to notice, right? People are going to say, oh my gosh, your hair looks amazing. What have you been doing to it? It's going to be easy for you to talk about it because you love it and it works. And you need to know, you need to love your offer and you need to know that it works too. So obviously you need to have an offer if you're going to have a business. Now your offer could literally be anything. And I get the pleasure of working with so many different people who are doing so many different cool things that I would never even imagine, but they're leading with their heart, right? In that alignment piece. And they're offering something to the world where they see something missing, right? Where they see this piece, this thing is missing. And I want to fill that gap. And that is truly, truly a beautiful thing. So let's go back to these 3 things. The first of the 3 things, there's 10 things on this list. Like I said before, I created this step-by-step kind of checklist that it kind of lays it out for you, all of the things that you need in order to start a business. And I've had actually people look at it who already have businesses and they're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or, oh, how are you doing this thing? So the first 3 things on this list are your mindset. You have to have your mindset in check. You have to have some sort of support system. You just have to. And you have to have an offer that you are absolutely obsessed with and aligned with and that you love. There are 7 other things on this list. And if you would like to see the 7 other things on the list, feel free. In the show notes, you can download this checklist of all the things. And I would love to hear from you about what you can check off, what you've already checked off, or what you're having trouble with, or like I just had somebody Vox me and be like, wait a minute, you have this on the list, but I didn't do that. How come you did that? Do I need to do that? Is that absolutely necessary? What is it? So check it out. I would love to hear. And talking one more time about how starting a business is not actually that hard. It is hard in the work, but you can figure everything out. And of course, this is absolutely not to devalue anybody who really actually does have a background or a degree in business or marketing or sales. I actually wish I did have. I went to school. When I went to school, I got my undergraduate in liberal studies, which is basically just education. Well, not just, it's education. And then I got my master's in elementary education and curriculum, and then I got my reading specialist credential. I actually wish I had have done my undergrad in something like else, like business or graphic design or something outside of teaching. So I would have had something to fall back on or do instead. But my background is in elementary education. So basically I can teach anyone to read, which is great, but it's not actually what I want to be doing anymore. So there's that. Not to devalue if you have a degree in business, good for you. I wish I had one too. But it's not impossible to start a business if you do not have a degree. You can figure all of these things out. And there were a lot of lessons learned along the way. I learned a lot of lessons about taking risks and making difficult decisions, and that failure is really just part of the game, and to find support. And you have all of the tools you need right now. If you have an inkling or a little seed that's been planted in your heart and you're like, oh, I'd really love to start this business, or maybe you've already started one and you are starting to realize like, wait, I don't actually know what I'm doing. Kind of like me. You probably know more than I did though. If I can do it, you can do it too. Trust me on that one. I created this step-by-step list that maps it all out for you. So feel free to download it. Link is in the show notes. These things are essential across the board. Like I said, I've started 2 businesses. These are things that go across the board for any online business owner. If you'd like to check it out, it's in the show notes, and you can tell me which things you have, which things you don't, which things you're working on, which things you're confused about, because you know I always love to hear from you. So until our next episode, go check out that checklist and let me know, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.